Welcome back to ESC Fan TV. We are at the end of day 5 of Eurovision Rehearsals. That's right, we've just watched the whole of semi-final 1, bar Malta, and they've done it at speed today. It's been a whole day of semi-final 1, and we're now just going to give you our kind of highs of semi-final 1, who we think are the front runners to qualify. Start with Ian and Donna. The day started hectic as always with Lithuania out of the traps. The route were stunning. We then had Slovenia with a fantastic ballad, followed by Russia, which, as most people have seen, bonkers staging. Out of those three, any favourites for you?
Me personally, it has to be Lithuania. I mean, it was almost like show ready already. Very little tweaking going on, if any, and that might have been a couple of camera moments, but they are just so on it. They are well rehearsed. It's such a slick performance. It can't not do well. So yes, that's a highlight for me.
Yeah, can only agree with that. Lithuania arrived and hit the ground running. They're absolutely on it. So yeah, they've just got it sorted.
Thanks, guys. Then we had Sweden, North Macedonia, and Ireland. Ireland have had a bit of criticism for the staging. For me, it was much, much better in today's run-through. Elena, out of those three, who do you think knocked it out of the park?
It still has to be Sweden for me. Like, it was maybe not his best rehearsal, but out of the three, I think that still is the best.
So let's talk about Cyprus and Norway. Cyprus and Norway, both songs which are high on everyone's scoreboard right now, certainly high on the betting odds. Elena, what did you make of today's rehearsals?
I really like Cyprus, and Norway is getting a lot more confident, so that's a nice one to see.
And Ian and Donna, what did you make of Cyprus? They really come alive on stage, Elena, and a lot of people currently now are talking about Cyprus as potential winners of Eurovision.
Yeah, they've lifted their game, and her performance has grown. You can see it from the first rehearsal into this second run. She is much more on it. She's enjoying it more. She's working to the camera better. It's working really well for them, and it looks spectacular.
I think, if anything, they've only had a few minor changes, haven't they, with some of the camera shots? But, I mean, yesterday she was opening up the first rehearsal. This time she's had a bit more time to have a relax, do a proper full warm-up, and it shows. It shows. And she was giving everything, even into that rehearsal. So it can only get better and better. I'm looking forward to it in the actual contest.
Exciting, yeah. It's she was great on interview the other day. If you haven't already caught the interview, you can do on ESC Fan TV. Cyprus are really, really good. Let's move on to Croatia, Belgium, and Israel. I'm obviously going to go to Elena because she's obviously going to want to talk about Hooverphonic. Over to you.
Yeah, it's really nice to see that Hooverphonic is finding their place more in the wrong place. Stupid joke.
Right place.
Yeah, and it's lovely to actually see them enjoying the performance, and actually found out why she's in the middle, because normally the lead singer is in front of the band, so she's in the wrong place, so she's in the middle, surrounded by the band. Thought it's nice to share.
It's good to know. Good to know. Ian and Donna, what about these three?
Gosh, it's a hard selection, this one, isn't it? They're all very good in their own way. But I think Belgium does actually have some good improvements there, doesn't it? Yes, and I don't know if it's just me or whether they were listening to some of our conversations, but they feel like they've given her a little bit more room now on the stage, or whether they've spaced out a little bit more, I'm not sure, or maybe it's a trick of the lighting, I'm not sure, but she feels less cramped in by them all around her. So they're giving her a little bit more room to shine, which is good.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, that's working really well. And Israel's also stepped up the game significantly as well. She's fantastic. Her confidence on stage for such a young singer is incredible, and they've got all their tricky bits worked out as well.
Yeah, she starts with the headpiece now, doesn't she, as well? That doesn't just arrive at the end, so that's quite nice.
The costume reveal is done. They've got that nailed, and they've done work on some of the graphics, and it's just the whole package is just gelling together better.
The next three was Romania, Roxanne, Azerbaijan's Effendi, and Ukraine, who, for those who don't know, had a stand-in singer this evening because, unfortunately, Katerina has fallen ill. Hopefully, it's nothing too sinister. She'll be back with us in the next couple of days. Alina, what did you make of these three, and what are your highs and lows?
My highs actually are Azerbaijan and Ukraine. I think Azerbaijan is a banger of a song, and I really like the staging. But Ukraine, it has to be Ukraine as a favorite, even though the lead singer wasn't there. It's still an amazing song. Like when the lead singer is there, it's like here, and with the replacement, it's like here, and we love her. I'm sorry, but it's still an amazing song, and my voice is gone.
You're losing your voice. It's all that singing throughout the day, cheering away your favourite songs. Okay, so overall then, who do we think sort of had improved on their first round of rehearsals? Let's go to Ian and Donna for their thoughts.
Definitely, Ireland's definitely kicked up the game. We've seen it progress. It's always you needed time to run on stage. It's very complicated, very technical staging, and that's getting better every time we see it. So, fair play to them. Everybody else is bringing up the game. North Macedonia again, they're getting their lighting stuff to work. Vassal's on point all the time, but their looks are improving each time. So, yeah. Everybody is lifting the game.
It's hard to tell on some of them because there's not a lot necessarily needing to improve. But I agree, actually, North Macedonia have really kicked up the game a little bit, especially getting his special lighting effects to work. And still, I think just tightening that little tweaking for Cyprus for me is still a good one.
And from your musical production background, are there any entries there that still need a little bit of camera angle tweaking or a few stage changes here and there?
Most of them are getting pretty much there now. I think Ireland's still got a little bit of tweaking, but that just has to be so precise to get it right. And if they nail that, it is going to be brilliant. And they're so close to it now. Yeah, it's all minor stuff. There are a few camera cuts that are just slightly too soon, slightly too late, but it's all very minor stuff. And it's also, this is a live show. It's one thing to be doing some of this in the studio where you can go back and do it again. It's all live, so there's only so far you can go with it.
Actually, the one that impressed me the most for the camera angles today was Israel. Because I think some of that second section where she comes down to the second stage just worked today. It worked really well. So their improvement was also a good one.
As guys, and Alina, same question to yourself. Who impressed you the most today?
That's a hard one because you can see the difference between every country stepping up their game. But it has to be, I think, Lithuania, because they're keeping up on the path that they left. Like they're going on still strong. And that's really amazing. Because at the other countries, you can see like little mistakes here and there. But with Lithuania, it keeps delivering.
But overall, this is a really strong semi-final one, isn't it? And the levels are really, really high. The staging this year across all of the artists, all of the acts can only be described as pretty epic. I say epic is probably the word. Really up their games, all these countries. But do you know what? Overall, the stage is beautiful, and Rotterdam, the Netherlands, have done an incredible job staging this. The viewing public are in for a treat on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday next week. Can't wait to see how this is going to look live.